Welcome, City Council members, to our current proposed location for the new Council Bluffs and Omaha metro area nuclear power plant. Today we'll be discussing our current motivations on why we want to put this, including why it's more cost effective than the current power plant, why it is much safer, and why it is better for our local environment. This is our current local power plant, and it produces lots of greenhouse gases that we don't want here, really, and it damages our environment. So let's dust off our old radiation king and get started on our first point. The first reason why, according to worldnuclear.org, it is much more cost effective for nuclear electricity on the environment than it is for coal power plants, though it has a larger upfront cost, about 2 times that much of a coal power plant. Though over time it pays itself off, being more than 10 times as cheap as coal is for nuclear electricity. It is also comfortably cheaper just in general in 7 out of 10 countries in the world that have nuclear electrical plants because they offer much more discounts on these power plants, including the United States, than other places. Splitting on over to our next point, it is a big safety concern about nuclear electricity in the world, given what has happened in recent disasters, including the Chernobyl disaster and the Fukushima Daiichi uh, electrical disaster as well. These are both ranked 7 on the worldwide nuclear disaster scale and are two huge disasters that have caused massive damage to local environments for both of those places. Though nuclear power plants nowadays are much safer. They cause only 1 death every 33 years on average, excluding the 2 major outliers being Fukushima and Chernobyl. Though those disasters have only caused around 2,100 deaths total, 90 of so being accounted towards Chernobyl, and 2,000 or around 2,000 have been associated with Fukushima, many of those deaths being related to the tsunami that caused the meltdown instead of the radiation that has happened afterwards. Meanwhile, uh, coal power plants worldwide cause about 16,000 or 1,600 deaths per year, or about 52,800 more deaths on average compared to nuclear electricity. This is very bad. Now, of course, there are issues of not being able to understand what these symbols of radiation mean, which is why the world has developed the international red and black drop it and run trefoil, which very much symbolizes and surpasses all language barriers of drop this and run or you will die, compared to the current international global yellow trefoil that just is a symbol for radiation. Now, going on to our final point, it is much safer for the environment. Radiation, as many people believe, looks like this, a yellow barrel with green goo, and unfortunately, this is just about as far as it could be from the truth. Radioactive materials are actually stored in concrete casks like this that decrease the level of radiation so much that standing near one and even touching it causes no extra radiation onto the human body. In fact, you will still receive the amount of radiation that you do just from being outside or other background radiation levels. Uh, there is one concern of storage of this material, as it is very large, these casks are. But currently, all radioactive material in the world from nuclear waste is able to be stored in about 23 football fields worth of space, which is really not that much. And without these casks, the amount of radioactive material total that has ever been produced is this much. Compare that to the 828 million metric tons that every year are produced from global greenhouse gas emissions. It is much better for the environment. Meanwhile, nuclear electricity doesn't produce any greenhouse gases. In fact, it creates water as a waste product, along with nuclear radioactive material. There is the one concern of, again, storage, but obviously the protests and riots that have happened in the past to defund nuclear electricity are caused by people who have been less educated on the topic and don't realize just how little uh, radioactive material there actually is. Thank you, Council Bluffs board members, for coming here and learning on why it's more efficient for us to install a nuclear power plant, why it is much safer, and why it is better on the environment. Thank you all. Have a nice day.